I'm going to be swapping the stock bumper for this bumper from E-Autogrilles. And the big differences between them are just, this is a much more heavy-duty bumper. It's made out of heavier steel. It's got attachments for D-hooks. It's got a winch plate ready to go. It's got mounting points for additional lights, but it also keeps the original stock lights. But the reason I'm choosing this particular bumper is the fact that it's a full-width bumper and that it goes up a bit. So what it's going to do is fill in this gap here, so that it's just a more complete look. This bumper looks a lot like the Call of Duty Black Ops Edition bumper that's from AEV, but it's a lot cheaper, about half the price. And it's better made than the one that comes from AEV. The AEV one is really meant to look aggressive, but has a lot of plastic on it. This is solid, and it's powder coated, and is just much more rugged. And I don't even have a good word. It's just, this is really heavy-duty material.
The first step in removing the bumper is removing this faux skid plate. And to do that, you grab hold of these and you pull down, and you do that for 4 of them. And you may need to use a screwdriver. But that's all there is to it. That then releases these so that they can pull out. I'm probably going to drop this on my head, but oh, I didn't get that one all the way out. So that one I may have to use a screwdriver to get the last bit out. Okay. The next step in the bumper removal is to pull the fog lights. And those just unclip right there. Okay, now there are 4 bolts on each side that are right there. And it's kind of hard to tell where that is in relation, but basically they're even with the fog lights. And so we're going to undo those 4 bolts on each side, and that's going to cause the bumper to fall off.
Reaching behind the bumper, what you're going to do is you're going to pull off each of these grommets that holds the wiring in place. Now, I showed you how to remove the clips, but you got to pull these. And then after you've removed all 4 of the nuts from the bolts, if you remove, there's 8 of these in total, 4 on each side, then basically the bumper just lifts out of and that's all there is to doing the bumper removal. Like I said, these wires hang down here, and there's little grommets that hold each of them. Now, I noticed that on this side, I couldn't really get to this bolt if I hadn't removed this. So I had to pop this out in order to get this bolt off. But once it's done, that's all there is to it. And this bumper weighs about 8 pounds, so it's not particularly heavy, so you won't have to do any help getting that off. Putting the new bumper on, depending on the weight, you may need some help getting it on place. So we'll see how I do with that. The bumper that I'm installing uses the factory fog lights. So I'm going to take the factory fog lights out using just a regular screwdriver. That's all there is to it. So we're going to use the original bumper's fog lights, and it comes with hardware in order to do that. So we're going to take a nut and put it on the back. And we'll do that for all four, and that's all there is to it. So the new bumper weighs about $1.20, so you either have to be strong or borrow a friend, but you need to line up the bolt holes, and you gotta get it clean at the same time. And that can be a little bit tricky. And you also have to be aware that you gotta be under that fender when it goes into place. And there you go, it's sitting on there. One nice thing about this bumper is that when I go to put it back on, I can just reach through. So where I was cramped before, here I'm just going to put the reinforcer plate on. Start that top bolt. Put the new lock washer nut in. And I don't have to be under the vehicle. So that's a really nice thing about this bumper, at least for the install point. Here's the finished product, and I think it looks great. The factory fog lights are in place and they're mounted, and then something I didn't show in the video, there's a screw that allows you to adjust the up-down of the factory headlights. You want to make sure that that screw is so that the head is down, so that when you want to adjust these, you don't have to take them off. You can just reach up there with a screwdriver and do it. So that's what I did. You can see that there's basically, just a pinky's worth of gap between the fender and the bumper, so it's well protected. It goes all the way to the edge. Looks great. There's light points here. There's the ones that are already in here. You get a real skid plate instead of that plastic skid plate that was on before. And I'm going to check. I think I can actually put that plastic skid plate back on, but just a question of whether or not there is actually an attachment point that will work, but we'll see. I kept the original factory spacer in here because I don't have a winch yet, and so there's very little gap here to collect things. The license plate will cover the winch plate for now until I get a winch plate, and then I'll order some D-clips to go on this to really round out the look. And I'll probably get some sort of lights here, but I kind of like the look here just because the Warthog grill, I think that it really kind of rounds out that aggressive look, that it's got just a little bit of this mount point that you can see. So really happy with how it came out. I love the texture. The texture looks very factory. The whole shape looks like the EOBDII do, and so it looks like stock should, but more aggressive. So it doesn't look like I did something weird to my bumper. It looks like I just have a nicer version of a Jeep. And that's what I really am looking for, is things that look put together. It's that finished look rather than just, hey, I bought the modular bumper and it does what I want it to do and accommodates my large tires. I want something that really has that rough look, that aggressive look, and is going to work well off-road. And I think this is a great choice for that.